It is an honor to be in Richland Parish. When I first came here, I came in at Dale High Middle School, and it was like family, and it's still like family. And then I came over to Holly Ridge, and made myself a new family. This place and what we're doing here is phenomenal. I'm honored to stand here and to be introduced by a superintendent who is the Louisiana State Superintendent of the Year. What does this say about Richland Parish?
A lot, an awful lot.
Let me begin by addressing something. So first of all, let me say thank you for all of the hard work. I walked in this place, and you can tell that some people put in a lot of effort. And I've been receiving text messages and phone calls, and I tell you, if I didn't know it, I feel like I'm somebody now. People often ask me, how did the country boy from Oak Grove, Louisiana, began to write books? And for a long time, I tried to think of something clever to say, because I was supposed to be an important writer. And important writers have important things to say. But after a while, I became exhausted. And I just decided to tell the truth. When I was a little boy in Oak Grove, Louisiana, in a little place they called the Johnson Court, I would sit on the porch after the sun had set and the work was done with my grandmother. And we would sit there and listen to the old folk talk about the old days and the old ways. And as a child, I was not permitted to speak, but I could sit there and listen. And there was one person that always stole the show. That was my dad. When he showed up and showed out, he would tell so many old stories that my grandmother would laugh until her belly shook. And she would throw her head back, and all her teeth were gone, and she would laugh with those naked gums. And then she would look at my dad and she'd say, CJ, boy, stop all that lying. And on that porch, the dream was born. I knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. I wanted to be able to lie like my daddy. That's what I did. Put a cover on it, sold it for about $25 a piece. Don't let anybody tell you lying don't pay off. My parents were educators. They were teachers. My mother was a scholar to her heart. When we were young, she would take us in a little house on the side of an unpaved street with no running water and an outhouse out back. And she would read to us. And sometimes, even today, when I close my eyes and I release my imagination, I can hear her voice. And I remember the journeys that we took, far beyond the confines of that little small town. My daddy was a wordsmith. He loved words. I like to call him a jackleg philosopher. He had a million sayings. A man is a man from the shoulders up. It's not his size nor his color, but his ability to think that makes him a man. You do your best, the best will return. And you haven't done your best until you've done the best. In this world and in this life, you have to want something. He said, wants make the world go round. And you have to dream big dreams because this is a big world. And he took me out in the yard and he said, you see this tree with the flowers around it? This is the epitome of democracy. He says, as long as there's rain, these flowers will grow. But as soon as the rain is short, this tree with its big taproot would take all of the water for itself and they would die. He said, you better be that tree. Go out and compete. And he sent us all over the world. The first 3 went to Yale, the first 2 at pharmacists, and there's me, and he thought nothing of it. So when I entered the classroom, they were my role models. You have to dream big dreams. You have to set the bar high. You have to believe in the impossible, and then make the children believe too. I'll end by saying this. This journey has been an enjoyable journey, but it's been one that has required a lot. Over and over, I'm forced to ask myself, why do I teach? And somewhere between being selected as the Teacher of the Year at Holly Ridge and winning the parish, the Teacher of the Year of the parish, and beginning this process, I thought a lot about it. And I realized that I teach because I know that the classroom is a place where young people change their lives. I teach because I know that an education is the key to unlock the door to the future. I teach because I understand, just like the wind beneath your wings, education will keep lifting those young people higher. I teach because I believe in these children, and I want them to believe in themselves too. Teachers, we teach because we are changing lives, saving lives, and changing the world one child at a time. It's an honor to represent this parish, these schools, Dale High Middle, Holly Ridge, Mangum, Start, the Raven School, this wonderful parish that's showing the world that we just might know what we're doing up here. And our children are rising. And so I thank you, and I'll leave with this. In this parish and in these schools, if we keep walking together and we keep talking together and we keep praying together, we're going to keep on rising together. This is a wonderful place. We are wonderful teachers. Regardless of what they say, I would never acknowledge that this is about me. This is going to be about us. Each and every one of us holds a little piece of this. Each parent, each child, each teacher, each board member, each person in the central office, the superintendent, each custodian, each bus driver, everybody that just passed by the school and say, I wish you well. We all own a piece of this. So tonight, regardless of what happened, regardless of whose name they call or don't call, it's going to be all right. Because right here in this parish, when the bell rings, we're going to keep on teaching. I thank you for your support. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful parish and these wonderful schools. I enjoyed each and every student that I've taught. Well, maybe one I did. And all of the people that I've worked with. So thank you again for coming out. I do believe that every child I teach will be the next success story, not because of me, but because I do believe, like my father, I believe I can make those children believe that they can fly. So a man thinketh, so is he. Once he believes it, and they conceive what we're trying to get them to do, they believe it and they conceive it, they'll achieve it. And they know they better not take a slow step in my classroom. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's enjoy the